Well, for the last time this weekend, it's time to wrap it up for the Rallye du Valais. It's been a fabulous weekend of rallying as we show you some shots of one of the wonderful places we've been racing through. This is Verbier, part of the Four Valleys, an absolute free riding paradise if you love snowboarding and skiing. From 1,500 to over 3,300 metres, and skiing from the middle of November all the way to April. It's got absolutely everything. Nightlife, shopping, just a superb backdrop as well. The Compiègne Mountains, you've really got to see it to believe it. But on the subject of seeing and believing, this weekend's rally has been something to behold indeed. We came to the start of the weekend with Luca Rossetti being favourite and taking the championship. But it's this man right here, Laurent Weisch, who would end up as the winner of the 2011 International Rallye du Valais. A real sterling performance by the home racer. He was the fourth leader we had. Beginning yesterday morning, we had 3 stages on Thursday, and all the leaders just disappeared. First of all, it was one of the Swiss guys, Ivan Ballinari, who was looking for the Swiss championship. He bowed out first thing yesterday morning, then Luca Rossetti, then Bernardo Sousa. And it was Laurent Weisch who ended up taking the win. And not only that, he's also sewn up the Swiss Rally Championship as well. He just had to finish ahead of his main rival, that was Nicholas Outhouse. And he did that absolutely in fine style. The shots we're seeing here were from earlier on today. Our guys in the helicopter doing a fantastic job, bringing us wonderful footage over the weekend. You can see the snow on the ground. There was a lot of ice, a lot of gravel, rocks, all kinds of things as well. They had just about everything thrown at them over the course of the last 3 days. It has been a total and utter survival of the fittest. All the favourites went out early. I hate to say that Laurent Weisch wasn't a favourite. He definitely was. But putting his local knowledge to great use. We'll hopefully get some words with all of these guys very soon indeed. This man ended up number 2, and he finished 1 in Group N as well. This is Olivier Bury, absolute legend in Swiss rallying. 4-time Swiss champion, 8 times event winner here at the Rallye du Valais. And for the 2011 version of the event, in 2nd place. He really wasn't that far out of the lead, to be honest with you. About 1 minute 49 seconds off of Laurent Weisch. But what you have to remember as well, this is a Group N car. It's not as fast as the winning car of Laurent Weisch, which is a Super 2000. Obviously not as powerful as well. But consistency was the name of the game for Olivier Bury. And consistency is what wins races. What a lot of them did as well, after seeing all the problems that the front runners were having, I think just decided not to take it easier today, but just decided to be really consistent on the last day. Try and make it to the finish line without any more punctures, any more problems or any more damages. The only thing is, I'm not entirely sure how you take it easy in one of these cars. They sling it around all over the place. This was earlier on going through Verbier. You can see the ski lifts, all the crowds out in force to support all the local drivers, and they really did them proud as well, beating off all of the European opposition. Well, on that subject, this man, Antonin Tlustak, is the only one in the top 10, would you believe, racing in the European Championship here this weekend. He had to finish ahead of his main championship rival, Maciej Oleskovic from Poland. And you know what? He's done just that. He was 3 minutes, 44 seconds out of the lead. Now, normally that wouldn't get it done. But Antonin put in a spirited performance throughout the last 3 days. Ended up winning the final stage. Well, actually, he was in a dead heat with Laurent Weisch on our last stage here today at Croix de Coeur. And as a result of that, he will be number 3 at the end of this season, he will be on the podium for the European Championship and wear the number 3 going into battle next season. So him and his co-driver, Jans Kalud, had a bit of a torrid time over the last few days. It's just about everybody as well. I mean, they've all had punctures, they've all had mechanical problems, technical failures, whatever it might be. They do say in motorsport or any kind of sport, to finish first you have to finish, and obviously that's what Antonin Tolusak did. Yesterday didn't look quite so good for him because Maciej Oleskovic was ahead of him for quite some way in the battle for the 3rd spot in the championship, but in the end, consistency pays off big time for the Czech guys. And we are live in the service area here in Martigny. This has been the base for the rally for the last 3 days. This is where we're based as well. We're now broadcasting to you live from the service area. We're just waiting for the winner of the rally. I can actually hear him coming in. Laurent Weish, his crew waiting for him, everybody else. This man is your rally champion for this weekend and also your Swiss national champion too. Beats off all the European opposition. There he is, one very happy man indeed, Laurent Weish. And Stevie, I do believe, is going to be right there with him in just a moment.
Laurent, ça fait la victoire ici au Valais.
Ouais, génial, génial. Le titre, la victoire au rallye, ouais, vraiment on n'espérait pas tant. Le titre, on y croyait, mais encore la victoire en plus ici, c'est génial.
It was a very unexpected victory for him. He thought he would be champion, but the victory is a nice extra. Et c'était très difficile de rester concentré pendant les 4 dernières spéciales.
Ouais, ben à chaque départ de spécial, j'étais toujours plus fébrile. Mais après, une fois qu'on est dedans, on arrive à se concentrer. On se fait plaisir dans la dernière. C'était très glissant. On a pu faire des grandes glisses. C'était sympa.
It was a lot of fun in the last stages, but he had to stay focused and it was a bit difficult. But when he started the stage, it was okay. Et maintenant, la grande fête ce soir.
Bah oui, hein, si on ne fait pas un titre national, on ne fait rien du tout. Donc, ouais, on va faire la fête. Ça va être super.
And tonight it will be a big victory party for the guys of the team. Thank you and congratulations.
Well, there's your 2000 champ for the Rallye du Valais. Laurent Weish beats off all the European opposition and going to party like it's 1999, I should think, tonight. Not only wins his home event for the European Championship, but also takes the Swiss National Championship as well. Couldn't have done any better. And when everybody else was bowing out, he kept his head, kept really cool for the sponsors, for the team. What a fantastic job for him. So Laurent going to be getting on with drinking some champagne as we now head over to the man who is second in the rally. This is Olivier Bourry, the man himself, and drinking straight out of the bottle. It's just time for a lot of loving, a lot of hugging, and some drinking to be done as well. There's going to be a big party tonight anyway, but for the Swiss drivers, not only for the Swiss Championship, but for the Rallye du Valais, this is a huge event in this area. It really is the biggest motor sport event in Switzerland, and it's going to be celebrated no end by all of the local drivers. We're just getting Stevie to get his best sprinting shoes on round there to get a word with with Olivier Bourry. But Stevie has obviously been way late somewhere else. But Olivier Bourry and his co-driver there getting the plaudits of the home crowd.
Un vieux et un jeune.
So another one of the local drivers. This is Urs Hunziger. Had an absolutely great day too. Finished third, so he will be on the podium later on today. The local guy with the Subaru Impreza was once again very, very consistent indeed. I've said that a few times, but if you look at all the rocks that are on the tarmac there and on the gravel stages, they have played havoc with everybody. So many people with multiple punctures, losing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. And a couple of the drivers definitely think that the reason you get punctures is because you don't drive quite carefully enough. You can avoid them if you try. Some of them are unavoidable, obviously, but you can do your absolute best to keep it clean. So these are the images that Erzinger and his team are going to be looking back on later tonight. Who'd have thought at the start of the weekend they didn't really have high hopes coming into the Rallye du Valais for 2011. But finishing on the podium must be more than they ever expected. So it will be an all-Swiss podium as well. Laurent taking first, second Olivier Barrier, and Erzinger was in third position. So this is another guy with one of those Peugeot S2000 cars, 2-litre, 285 brake horsepower, four-wheel drive machines. This is Nicolas Althaus. We've heard from him a number of times over the weekend already. Tried his absolute damnedest to get up there and get the win. He was Laurent Wisch's main championship rival for the Swiss title. I do think if it hadn't have been for a puncture that cost him about 6 minutes, he'd have been more than in with a shout as well. He actually finished 5th overall, 4 minutes 22 seconds off the place. He made a big charge in the first few stages today, but unfortunately had some more problems later on, and his challenge unfortunately faded. So I'm not entirely sure whether he's going to be happy with 5th position overall. Can't actually be that upset with 5th, but he did have big hopes for taking the Swiss championship. But when the guy who wins the championship wins the race as well, not a lot you can do. So this was your number 6 finisher. Overall, we've done the top 5. This is number 6. This is Antalya Galli, and the first of the Citroens as well. Front-wheel drive and two-wheel drive. Stevie spoke with him earlier on in the service area, and he was about as happy as he could possibly be. So managed to maintain his position. It's not very often you get a two-wheel drive car in the top 10, let alone the top 6. Such has been the rate of attrition here, and with the odd mistake like that as well, actually, from Antonio Galli. I'm not going to say I'm surprised, but he definitely just about held it together. The field here at the Rallye du Valais this year is somewhat spread out. Antonio Galli is 8.5 minutes off of the lead finisher, but it was obviously enough to get the job done. Some very precise driving around these mountain roads and some good local knowledge have helped everybody here over the last 3 days. So number 16 is your 7th place man in today's standings. That's Philippe Roux. And again, we heard from Philippe earlier on. Pretty happy with life. But it's definitely a tough weekend when you get two-wheel drive cars finishing front of the 285 brake horsepower four-wheel drive cars. But Philippe Roux, another one of the local Swiss guys. In fact, looking down the order, the only guy to break into the top 10 that wasn't from Switzerland was Antonin Tlissak, who finished 4th, and he's one of the European Championship drivers. So you kind of expect that from him, to be honest with you. So we go back live to Laurent Wisch. Going to be coming up to accept the plaudits of the crowd once again on the winner's podium. And he's getting the big build-up from the lead announcer here at the rally. All the Swiss crowd flocking in to see their man take the trophy for the win and for the Swiss Championship as well. Just saw Christian Dubuis, the organiser, going and having a quick word with him as well. Very exciting news for the Rallye du Valais, hopefully in the next few years put in a bid to host a round of the World Rally Championship in 2014. Well, French national anthem for Peugeot, winning constructor of the Rallye du Valais for 2011. There's those winners' trophies for Laurent and Jean Duraz. I think there's a few tears in there as well, to be honest with you. Just an immense day for those guys and the whole of Switzerland actually as well. He came into the weekend behind Ivan Ballinari on points for the Swiss Championship, and Ivan Ballinari was leading back on day one. Second place, a very, very happy looking Olivier Bury and Nicolas Klinger. And third place is the two guys from the Czech Republic, Antonin Tluzlak and Jan Skalud. Real team effort all weekend. Yeah, notice the trophy girls are going to give them the champagne and run out the way really quickly so they don't get drowned. Well, Laurent Riche can obviously drive, but he can't get the cork out of a bottle of champagne, but he has done now, trying to drown everybody else as well as they're drowning him. What a fantastically spectacular ending to what's been a great event over the last 3 days. It's a good job winter's coming. They can get those race suits dry clean for next year. I have to say, Jean Duraz looks slightly more emotional than even Laurent Riche. But this is the kind of emotion that starts flowing when you have a huge team. Everybody has a huge team, but loads of people behind you, all the work, all the effort, all the earning the money, all the securing sponsors, and all the hard stuff before this weekend. Stevie is with Olivier Bury.
Olivier, second place, deuxième place, t'es content?
Ah, fantastique, fantastique. On a fait un good job durant tout le week-end, on a fait un bon plaisir avec Nico. Des passages aussi spectaculaires, c'était super avec une groupe N deuxième. C'est le top, c'est la classe. On est super heureux.
Olivier says he's very happy to be on the second place with the Group N car, and also his co-driver did a very good job. Et maintenant, la future, qu'est-ce que ça va être?
Le futur, c'est le travail pour mon fils, parce que mon fils roule très très vite. Et le futur immédiat, c'est le rallye d'Angleterre avec Michael pour rouler avec la DS3 et l'année prochaine trouver un budget pour lui pour le mondial.
In the future, he will work on his son Michael, who is a very fast driver, and he will try everything to have a good budget for him next year. Merci.
Well, he's going to have a very good teacher indeed, Olivier Bury. His son would be great news if he could be as good as his dad. So this is back to the order that they finished in. Number 25 finished number 8. That's Jonathan Hershey. We heard from him earlier as well with Stevie. And would you believe 8th place in this rally was taken by a front-wheel drive 1600 car. The Super 1600 of Jonathan Hershey. I think looking at the order, he was actually the top finishing Renault Clio? Indeed he was, actually. He was some 10 minutes adrift of the lead, but such has been the rate of attrition over this weekend, that was good enough to get him in the top 10. Well, in the last few minutes of our 6 live shows we've had here from the Alps in Switzerland, I just have to say it's been one of the most spectacular ways to spend 3 days. Beautiful scenery, awesome racing, and you could want for nothing more. The area itself, the Valais region, is just absolutely beautiful. You've got to come and visit it, whether it be summer, winter, absolutely any time. All the roads that these guys have been competing on, you can drive up and down yourself. You can take a look at the area. Like I said, I've been here for 3 days myself. It's been absolutely spectacular. So before we wrap it up, finally, that's Mike Coppers, nearly making me spit my tea out by slightly missing that corner. He's not the only one to have gone off there. He was 9th overall with the Citroën DS3, 2nd for the Citroëns. But again, look at the race cars, but look at the background, look at the scenery. It's such a wonderful place for a motor race. This is earlier on today again from up there, that special stage up in Verbier. You just couldn't wish for more as well. Perfect weather. A lot of people think in the Alps all it does is rain or snow. It actually doesn't, because it's so high up in the air. You end up getting between 250 and 300 days of sunshine right at the top. It's just absolutely spectacular. So this is Maciej Oleskovic, came into this weekend a couple of points in front of Jan Tuslak, but unfortunately for him, Jan's the one on the podium, not Maciej Oleskovic. Had loads and loads of problems. The prow steering broke yesterday, which resulted in his co-driver doing the handbrake round the turns. Must have been rather difficult to coordinate that one, to be honest with you, as well as reading the pace notes. But Maciej, a shame. One of the top European Championship runners came here with high hopes of finishing 3rd and finishing on the podium for the European Championship. And he didn't quite make it. Just shows you how tough running is, though. I was walking around the service area earlier on. The car was in about 1,000 pieces just 5 minutes before they were due to go out for this afternoon's special stages. So just a Herculean effort by the team just to get it back in one piece, if nothing else. And confirmation once more, the last shot we're going to see of the service area. Laurent, your champion. Olivier Bourri, 2nd, 2 minutes off the pace. Antonin Trusak was 3rd, 2 seconds only in front of Urs Husinger. And Nicholas Outhouse, a spirited battle for the Swiss Championship, but he didn't quite make it. We really hope you've enjoyed yourselves with us here. We've had a great time. Please join us again next year. We hope to see you then.